All right, that's enough of the post game stuff. I've seen everything there is to see, and the NBA season is now over. Weird. Game 7's done. Obviously, one of the biggest talking points coming from this game because there is so much to unpack. I don't know how much I'm gonna unpack today. I think today's I'm gonna try my best to focus on the game, and then tomorrow I'll actually touch on the successes of OKC and everything that goes on with that. But for the game today, we had Hallie go out in the first quarter, and it's an Achilles. So, as you know, nothing but respect to OKC. Like, they were the team that were meant to win it all year, and they went out and won it. There's literally not a bad thing you can say about the team. Shea has gone from the guy who was the packet of chips in the Paul George trade to now being scoring title, MVP, finals MVP in 1 year. It's incredible. But for the Pacers to so early on lose their guy, and they're now not going to have Hallie for all of next season as well. Yeah, it's a tough one to swallow, realistically. Like, the Pacers run was so good. There's so many things that I can say about this. I forgot about my microphone. There is so many good things I can say about this Pacers run. Like, there is so many games that this postseason that they were a part of that they were not supposed to win. There was a game against the Cavs. There was a game against the Bucks. That Bucks game, they were down 7 points with 30 seconds left in overtime. And they won. The game against the Knicks, where you're at Madison Square Garden, game 1 of the conference finals, you're down 20 points for damn near the whole game. And Hallie hits the shot, hits the choke sign, ends up being a 2, and they go and win in overtime anyway. It's just like, there's so many things I can say. It was one of the best runs that I've ever watched, if not the best. Because they were the team that we constantly picked against throughout the entirety of the playoffs and throughout the entirety of even the season. Like, halfway through January, they were probably one of the worst formed teams in the entire association. And then they turned it around. I think they barely lost a game for the last 3 months of the season. And all of a sudden, they found themselves in the 4th seed. They get that home court advantage over the Bucks, and from there, it's just been all Pacers basketball. Every single person that stood on the court for the Pacers gave it literally everything that they could have. You had moments from literally every person on the team. You had great finals performances from the likes of Obi Toppin. Ben Shepherd gave you moments. And Ben Shepherd, for the majority of the playoff run, gave you 3 minutes a game. But even he had his moments. Andrew Nembhard is a hell of a basketball player. He, to go on the defensive side of the ball and check the MVP for the whole entirety of his playing time, and to also, once Hallie goes out, especially in this game, once Hallie goes out, to also try and carry the offensive load at the same time, I've got nothing but respect for him. There's nothing bad that I can say about Andrew Nembhard and the persistence that he gave to the team in this. Pascal Siakam didn't quite get enough out of him today. From what I wanted after Tyrese went down. After Tyrese went down, he had a good sort of few minutes in that end of the first quarter sort of time frame. But then the rest of that, I don't know if it was either he just never saw the floor because for some reason Rick Carlisle thought it was better to have different lineups with like Obi Toppin, Benedict Mather and those sorts of guys on the floor. But I didn't see him around the ball. There was a couple of, I think it was in the third quarter, he had the post up on Shea, went hard at it, was drawing fouls, was making the contact. But other than that, that's like the only memory that I can now have of Pascal Siakam in this Game 7. He hit a couple of threes, he had his post-up actions, and he had a couple of good layups. But for someone who is missing their marksman, their playmaker, their leader, Pascal needed to be that person because Pascal is the only person on that court for them who knows anything about the finals, let alone a Game 7. None of them had been to a Game 7 before, but Pascal had at least been to finals. And he gave my Warriors 40 points 6 years ago. So, there's just so much. Like, TJ McConnell had his quarter. That third quarter, TJ McConnell, I think it was like 14 straight points or something from TJ. But then in the fourth quarter, I've just felt like there was a little too much TJ McConnell, and some of the decisions that he made with the ball in his hands in that fourth quarter really cost them a chance at a comeback. There was the one where he dribbled it up the court, got a steal from Lou Dort and turned the ball over, tried to take a little 2-foot fadeaway over the top of Chet Holmgren, who Chet, by the way, had a ridiculous defensive performance today. And there was the other one where he just drove it straight into the lane, tried to kick it to Miles Turner, I think it was, and just turned it over. I'm not saying TJ McConnell played bad because for the type of player that TJ McConnell is, for that you to get that third quarter out of TJ McConnell is absolutely insane, and he deserves all the props in the world. But his usage rate needs to go up with assists as well as scoring the basketball, because he is one of the most nifty six-man scorers off the bench that you can find in terms of literally taking these weird-ass layups and taking 5-foot mid-range jump shots. Like, no one's ever done anything like that before in terms of like playing the game of basketball. No one is coming onto the court and thinking they're going to take 4-foot jump shots. TJ McConnell does that, and it works to a ridiculous level. But there was those couple of moments in the fourth quarter where Benedict Mathurin got on a roll, was getting to the free throw line, ended up 8 for 8 from the free throw line in the fourth quarter or whatever it was. Getting to the bucket, getting tough finishes. There was that one that should have been an N1 on Lou Dort. He smacked him in the face. There was no call. But when someone else is rolling like that, I think TJ needs to recognize that and be able to find that person that's on the roll. Because when TJ McConnell is on a roll, they are going to find TJ McConnell. No doubt in my mind that they are going to find TJ McConnell when he's scoring the ball. And that's all they did in the third quarter, and was the entire reason that they stayed in this game for as long as they did. But TJ needs to also recognize that, and I think that's one thing that Tyrese was really, really good at instead of TJ. Like, when Tyrese had the ball in his hands in the fourth quarter, especially like game 1 against the Knicks, he knew that Aaron Nesmith was on fire. And every time they would go up the floor, he would be looking for Aaron Nesmith. He would not be looking for his own shot. And that's one thing about Tyrese that I think is the passiveness that people talk about gets overlooked compared to what he is actually doing. Whereas, he's trying to make the right play for his team. And when you've got someone like Aaron Nesmith who's on an absolute burner and can't miss a jump shot to save himself, Tyrese is going to find Aaron Nesmith. And that was one of the beautiful things about Tyrese Halliburton was, in these first 7 minutes of this game, he looked like he was going to be on an absolute heater. he shot 2 threes from like 28 feet plus and was just knocking them down, no problems at all. But then, for whatever reason, I understand the aggressiveness of the situation, and Tyrese is not going to give anything but 100%. And it happens. It's a basketball injury. He knew what the risks were. It's unfortunate that it happened, but it happened. He tries to explode off that right leg, and you can't explode off a right leg that has a calf strain in it. Exact same thing happened to Kevin Durant in 2019. Just turns out that this season, Pascal Siakam, the shoe's on the other foot. He was on the team, not the opposing team. Really sucks, man, because this was a good game. It was a good Game 7. But I feel like if Tyrese is on this court, it's a hell of a lot better Game 7. Because the Indiana Pacers, to me, were the only team all season, all playoffs, etc., that actually made the Oklahoma City Thunder sweat. There was moments in this series where OKC looked awful. And I don't think we saw that for majority of the season. I reckon I'm probably on record somewhere this season saying that the OKC's Thunder defense plus offense is pretty much perfect. Because for the most part, they were. And there was not a single hole in their game when it comes from the offensive output that you get from the likes of Shea, Jalen Williams, Chet on some nights, Alex Caruso giving you offensive output. Lou Dort Lou Dort had regular season games where he hit 8 and 9 threes. When you're getting stuff like that, and especially watching the same Lou Dort in this finals, who, let's be honest, underwhelming shooting the ball. It just in that regular season looked like they were that good of a basketball team. And then you get into this series against the Indiana Pacers, and there was these times in the series, Tyrese Halliburton, TJ McConnell, and Andrew Nembhard were picking them apart. They actually found gaps in the defense. They found gaps in their offense where Shea was just trying to get downhill and being stupid, forcing shots up because he was trying to do that little bit too much because there was smothering defense on the other 4 players that were on the floor. It was just a lot of right spot, right time for the Pacers in some stretches of this series. And for that reason, there was a world where they won this series. I mean, shit, I picked OKC to win in 5 games. And for us to even get to a Game 7 is insane. It's absurd. Especially considering your best player plays on one leg for 3 games straight. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Just, what a season, man. And this dude, Sam Presti, still got 30 first-round draft picks coming up in the next 5 years. They could literally, they have the draft stock between their young guys and their contracts and their first-round picks. They could have traded for Kevin Durant. They've got enough in their locker that they could literally go out and get any player that they wanted in the league right now. Other than maybe Nikola Jokic. But at the same time, we said that about Luka Doncic, and look how that turned out. But that's a Nico Harrison thing, I think. I don't know. I'm going to take 24 hours to gather my thoughts, really get everything together. And then I can really sort of go into the nitty gritty in terms of conversating about the rest of this series. We had the Kevin Durant trade today, which I will touch on tomorrow. I've been so locked on this Game 7 that I only just saw the report about the Kevin Durant thing sort of halfway through the game, so I wasn't really going to make a video at halftime during Game 7. Initial thoughts on the trade, I think Houston did really well. I think it's a situation where Houston didn't give up too much, but at the same time, they didn't give up not enough. Like, I think there is good pieces for the Phoenix Suns to build off with the pieces that they got. But I don't think this is a trade where the offseason is over for the Phoenix Suns. I saw another report come out that they're looking to trade Bradley Beal, which, when you think about it, is probably a smart thing to do because nowadays at shooting guard, you've got your three best players are shooting guards. You've got Jalen Green, who you've just traded for. You've got, you could even make Dylan Brooks a shooting guard if you really wanted to, but he's more a three-man, so we're going to leave him at that. You got Devin Booker, who is the undisputed best player on the team, has been for the longest time. The argument for Kevin Durant being their best player was up there for some time, but Devin Booker has been on that team for 10 plus years now, I think. And I don't think he is the one player I don't think is going anywhere anytime soon. And the last one being Bradley Beal. And I think Bradley Beal is the odd one out in this situation where he's going to have to go somewhere else. Doesn't have that no trade clause anymore. So he will find a spot in the league somewhere else. And hopefully he can get back to playing good basketball because Bradley Beal is a really good basketball player. But initial thoughts, because I'm not going to go into too much detail about it, I think both teams do benefit somewhat from this trade. Kevin Durant wasn't going to play another game in a Phoenix Suns jersey. That's just what it was. So for the Houston Rockets and the Phoenix Suns to work out this deal, it was a very good deal in all terms of things. Seeing Kevin Durant in the Houston Rockets jersey, however, might be a bit weird. But we'll see how it goes. I think that's about it. It's now, I've been recording for 17 minutes. This is already giving me a long video as is. Sort of going to cut it off there. I spoke about the game as much as I could today. And tomorrow I will do a vast recap tomorrow on how good the OKC Thunder's season was. Because I think, I owe it to them to give them a video like that. Maybe the Kevin Durant trade as well. If I get 2 videos out tomorrow, I will be asking for a medal from someone. Because 2 videos in a day, I think I've only ever done once. So we'll see how I go with that. But they are the 2 big things I need to cover. The NBA draft starts on Thursday for me, I believe. So there's sort of a couple of days and then you get to the draft. I'll be able to talk about the draft. I really need to go into detail with the scouting reports and stuff because, to be honest, outside of your Cooper Flags and your Ace Baileys and those sorts of guys, I don't really have a ton of knowledge in the big board. I will go into that, talk about the draft Thursday, Friday, because that's round 1 and round 2, although there probably won't be a ton of things to talk about with round 2. But then the off-season really starts. I think we get the Summer League for a week in July, and then there's barely any basketball until preseason, which preseason starts in September, which is like 4 months away. So, yeah, no more basketball. What am I going to do? A lot of content I'm still going to try and get out. I'm going to start more short form stuff again. I'm in the midst of thinking about making TikToks, Instagrams, those sorts of things just to broaden my range, get my face out to more people. But yeah, I'll see how I go with that. That was sort of my off-season job, is that I'm going to get towards doing that sort of stuff. So we'll see how that goes. But for right now, there's no more basketball left. I'm going to go and think of what to do with myself. And yeah. Thank you guys for watching. It's been an amazing season. The support over this season has been amazing. I've gained 15 subscribers in terms of this season. So thank you guys heaps. Yeah, it's been a hell of a season. I'm keen to do it again next season. It's just going to keep going, and hopefully we can expand this range, get it to more people, and we can all sort of enjoy it together. But yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow with that OKC breakdown. I love you guys, and I will see you guys tomorrow.